I think if Fox News started endorsing Ron Paul, he might actually. then people
outsmarting themselves, right?
Yeah, but they know that's a dangerous game. All right, great having you in.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. All right, folks, we're going to come back, and obviously we'll have a bigger article out on this tomorrow. This is big breaking news. So many angles. We're going to come back and get into the second half of the news. So much news tonight. We've got to do this in two different parts. And then we're going to end the transmission with a film review of the 1973 Clockwork Orange by Stanley Kubrick and the parallels to what's happening in our society. And then we'll also break down the whole Colbert Report that engaged in a psyop against this show, the Infowars Nightly News, myself, and Jesse Ventura, dealing with the Denver International Airport. So that's coming up after the news. Final segment straight ahead.
What's up with these sorry politicians? Lots of bark. When it's showtime, whimpering like little shih tzus. You want big cuts. Ron Paul's been screaming it for years. Budget crisis? No problem. Got $1 trillion year one. That's trillion with a T. Department of Education? Gone. Interior, Energy, HUD, Commerce? Gone. Later, bureaucrats. That's how Ron Paul rolls. Want to drain the swamp? Ron Paul. Do it.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
If you believe in this information and want to support its viral spread, go to the Infowars store at Infowars.com. We've got the new G.I. Joe Infowars t-shirts. We've got the incredible Pro Pure gravity-fed filters available at Infowars.com in the store. We've got a new DVD, Scientists Under Attack, the Don't Tread on Me flag. We've got all sorts of different bumper stickers to help spread the rebellion virally. It's all there. Wristbands, citizen rule books in every order. Order online at Infowars.com today. The water filters, the canteens. It's all there. Infowars.com. Welcome back. It is the final segment of Infowars Nightly News on this Tuesday, December 6th transmission. Please go to Infowars.com. Please. And email everybody you know. Facebook, Twitter, this article about the federal government, the government activating the FEMA camps. Now they're moving to put the jail guards, the personnel, the barricades out on the roads, the final system. And they're admitting that they're preparing for domestic unrest and all of this. This is internal information. It's extremely important that you understand that these are only sub-camps for delivery to the 1 million man camps. Just unbelievable information. Please get that out to everyone. Okay, let's race now through the news. I learned in 1996 from a nurse in San Antonio at one of the 3 facilities in the U.S. that holds these blood samples, and I was sent secret documents. I showed them on local access TV. I talked about them on the radio. I actually got death threats over it. And no one believed me, so it was never an issue. That everybody at birth in the Western world for now 40 years, it's right at 40 years, has their blood taken and put in a database. And now in court cases, it's come out in the last 3 years because now the corporations say, we got your blood samples, we patented it. And when you go to get a breast cancer system that's genetically based, we've patented that. They're even now patenting individuals. And it's just a brazen criminality. It's kind of like Monsanto infects your field. Clearly, it's them infecting you because it's not their variety 100%. It's 1 or 2% of your variety that you have a record you bought seeds for infected by them because plants aren't like you have one dad and one mom. It could be in some varieties hundreds of different plants. Pollen goes in to the genetic, but I'm getting too technical. The point is that all over the world, they're now announcing that they're going to just release everybody's medical records. Governments in the Western world, it's all standardized under the New World Order, the eugenics system, in the last decade have been collating all your medical records. What prescriptions you get, everything, what dentist you visit, what was done. That's all indentured servitude where they've got to upload it to them. But they claim it's protected. Now they're announcing in England that they're just going to release all of it. And if you read the fine print of the BBC report, they admit that it's going to be where you live, your name, everything about you. And so everyone under the health service, under the eugenics guinea pigging, is now to be a, quote, research patient. and they claim this will give great leaps forward. What it allows them to do is use the scientific algorithms and actuaries they already have to go public with it. Kind of like for decades they've been publishing lists of concealed carry owners around the country in newspapers to harass people. And it's just part of them getting everybody used to your data being public, your most intimate data. Your most intimate data, that you had an abortion, that you got herpes, that you got HIV, that you got hepatitis, that you had plastic surgery, that you've got dentures, and then all of that can then be used against you. So it's just unspeakable. And here is the traitorous David Cameron, the globalist, who says he won't let people in England vote on being part of the euro. They're just part of it and are losing their rights. That's the way it is. Here is this disgusting blob up there claiming how great all of this is and how the psychiatrists love our brain scans. So it's just all part of the scientific dictatorship flaunting their tyranny. Here it is.
Opening up the vast amounts of data generated in our health service. From this month, huge amounts of new data are going to be released online. This is the real-world evidence that scientists have been crying out for, and we're determined to deliver it. We've seen how powerful the release of data can be. Thanks to the South London and Maudsley NHS Trust, the Institute of Psychiatry now has access to a database covering 250,000 patients. It's got their brain scans, their medical records, their notes, a huge wealth of information, all consented to, all anonymous, and that is helping them to find new answers in the fight against dementia. It is simply a waste to have a health system like the NHS and not to do this kind of thing. So we don't want to stop there. We're going to consult on actually changing the NHS constitution so that the default setting is for patients' data to be used for research, unless, of course, they want to opt out. Now,
and then, of course, they later don't let you opt out. This is a government in England as well. It's global unified, standardized. For 40 years, almost 40, 39 plus, they take your blood at birth and then lied about it and got caught and say they own your body. These are eugenicists. They're your enemy. They're my enemy. Okay, that's one report. I've got about 20 more. I'm never going to get through all this. There's a new report out that Bill Clinton collected $50,000 per month from MF Global. Well, Newt Gingrich got millions from, what was it, Freddie Mac and all of this. This later report from How Dare You, Department of Clinton Criminal Enterprises, and it just goes through all the reported things he's done as an advisor through Joe S. Corzine, the former New Jersey governor, former head of Goldman Sachs, who admittedly made 40-to-1 bets with his own customers' private accounts. Continuing, the real reason for Obama's threat to veto indefinite detention bill, hint, it's not to protect liberty. Obama wants to veto indefinite detention bill because it would hold the U.S. to the Geneva Convention. And it would give Congress the power, which it rightfully does, to make law. Obama's already told him, I'll kill citizens, I'll arrest citizens. The executive holds that. And his lawyers came out last week and said he may veto the National Defense Authorization Act because he can use the military in America if he wants. He can do whatever he wants. So that's the facts there, and that's now coming out weeks after we told you what was really going on. There's also not a happy ending to Obama's little Hollywood romance. He can't make up his mind about anything, said Mr. Lear. He just vacillates like Democrats do generally. On taxes, he doesn't take a strong stand. He can't make up his mind about immigration. I don't even know if he's come clean on waterboarding or torture, any of those things. And that's prominent Hollywood people are mad at him because, he hasn't taxed the rich enough. What do you mean? He's financed by the mega elite. And at the same time, because he's continued all the torture and the rest of it. So that love affair is ending with Obama, who's a nothing teleprompter reading puppet. Continuing here, British Petroleum accuses Halliburton, same folks running Kellogg, Brown & Root, of destroying evidence following Gulf spill. BP has accused Halliburton of destroying damaging evidence about the quality of its cement. That came out day one. That went into drilling the well that blew out last year and caused the worst offshore oil spill in U.S. history. So the rats are turning on each other. Now getting into the incredible Panopticon surveillance grid, RT interviewed the inventor of the free software movement and legendary programmer and code person. Facebook is massive surveillance, says Richard Stallman. This is an example of malicious features in non-free software. These mobile phones are being run by non-free software, so it's no surprise that they have malicious features in them. The most commonly used non-free programs do, Stallman sadly pointed out. Yeah, you think an application is one thing, but you're really paying to be surveilled, and the phone companies and others are making more money off selling your data than they are on the phone program. And they're tracking everything you do. They're always finding backdoors and Trojan horses in them that began with the Telecommunications Act of '96 and have expanded on since then. So that's basically what, the head of Facebook called his customers dumb effers. You trust him. I mean, these are just arrogant dirtbags, folks. These are slime bags. They've been chosen to be promoted by the system because they are sociopaths at best, some of them psychopaths. All right, now some spectacular news and information and great graphics put together by our own Darren McBreen. But now we look into the limitless universe with the trillions of galaxies and quadrillions of stars and planets to new discoveries by NASA. NASA telescope confirms alien planet in habitable zone, the potentially habitable alien world, a first for Kepler, orbits a star very much like our own sun. The discovery brings scientists one step closer to finding a planet like our own, one which could conceivably harbor life, scientists said. It goes on, the newfound planet is in the habitable zone called Kepler 22b. It's located about 600 light years away, orbiting a sun-like star. Amazing information. What humanity could do if we just stopped the psychopaths from taking control of our society and stopped being gullible. Shifting to another sector of the universe, astronomers have discovered the biggest black holes ever. Scientists have discovered two of the biggest black holes ever observed. Each has a mass billions of times greater than the sun, according to a study published Monday. Just to give you an idea of how massive these are, they can swallow up entire galaxy clusters. What a gorgeous and limitless cosmos we are a part of, and our consciousness and being alive and able to observe this is an incredible gift from the Creator. And if you don't think something made all this, ladies and gentlemen, my God, can you imagine our consciousness and our intellect? And we are tiny little creatures living in a thin ribbon of life on the surface of a globe, which is just microscopic in comparison to the majesty of what's around us. It is awe-inspiring, and we see a bunch of crusty globalists rubbing their hands together, cheating the population, and spiking our water with poison. It's just, you got to feel sorry for them in the final equation. All right, I want to get to a review of Clockwork Orange. Guys, what do we have up next in the queue? The Clockwork Orange or the hit piece on the Colbert Report? Okay, let's go ahead and do the Colbert Report right now. Look, I talked about this on the radio today. I'm not going to spend all day on it right now because obviously we've got more pressing issues. But this is how they use humor to discredit things. And simply put, they use a lot of tricks here. They talk about space aliens at the Denver airport and cut to video of myself in the background when I don't talk about space aliens. They cut to an old lady who's a greeter at the airport turning into a vampire, implying that we're saying that. They make fun of Jesse Ventura, and they cut to a guy who's clearly trying to be goofy, who's playing a piano out by a rushing river, acting extremely goofy with a bouncing ball, like in the old cartoons. I mean, the whole thing's a joke. Denver Airport, they don't mention, has giant obelisk and weird Egyptian gods like Anubis out front. It's got murals of Nazis chopping up children and Spanish Civil War fascists chopping people up. It's got underground bases. It's based in the state that has the head of Northcom in it, with admitted underground bases there at NORAD in Colorado Springs, right down the road. I mean, I flew in there like a year and a half ago to go to Hardin, Montana, and there's bizarre Egyptian pyramids everywhere, and there's Anubis. I mean, it's beyond bizarre. And then they cut to some guy talking about phallic symbols, and they cut to a statue of a stallion's sexual member. And this is designed for people who've heard us talk about the Denver airport and all the weird iconography to just say, oh, that's those crazy people. And so it's a classic hit piece because it's these illuminist religion to be into all this occultic stuff while we're ignorant of it. And we're exposing it. So they do this straw man guilt by association. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let's go ahead and play the intro of this.